All right, everyone, welcome. Good morning. We are in the middle of our top scholar in TLS end of year presentations today. Up next at this time is Arturo Martinez, and he will be giving us his end of year presentation. At the very end, we will open the floor to any staff members in the room for any questions or comments that they may have. Then we will open it up to the general floor. So take it away, Artie.
Thank you, Mr. Orgado. Hi there, guys. I'm Arturo Martinez. Most of y'all know me as Artie. And it's my report of what I did, entire year 2024 to 2025. So let's get started. Let's see, there you go. So here's a little kind of like table of contents agenda, what I'm going to be going over. Of course, the 3 pillars of service are of top scholar, knowledge, leadership, and service. Some stuff I did beyond the program this year in pictures. I got a ton of pictures from this year. It was really nice just kind of looking back and going and see everything I've done. And then what's next? So what am I doing this summer? What I plan to do for 2025 to 2026 year. And so here's the first pillar, knowledge. So something kind of like, I guess kind of off top, not like academic related, but adjusting to the college schedule on life. So I, used to high school having to go to class from about like 8:30 to, 3 to 4. And so now I have to go to class for 3 hours a day, and it gives me a lot of more free time to kind of do my assignments. Typically in high school, you do them during class, and that's very, very different from college. And so I spent my, a lot more free time going to concerts, spending quality time with friends, going on hikes, and playing basketball. That's really fun. And I've been getting a lot better at it. And then also learning how to be an electrical engineer. In my high school, they don't really have that many high-level math courses or even any engineering courses. So this is my first kind of dip, like dipping my toes into how do engineers think, how do engineers learn, what do they all, go over. And so I'm currently taking logic design and digital circuit lab. They're very fun. Like I feel like I get it right off the bat, and it's really nice being able to see how I can apply the stuff I'm learning in logic design and apply it to my digital circuit lab. So we learn how to build circuits and what different components do and how do they do it. So it's kind of getting blocked off for the people in person, but we made a segmented display. That's what you're seeing in the bottom right. That was for extra credit for a presentation. I did it in a few days with an Arduino and some code, just a little truth table. And it was really nice just being able to apply what I'm learning in different classes. I'm also taking an intro to programming class. And so I was able to see how all these disciplines, collide and make a functional product. Also made an adder and subtractor, and then also made a sequential counter. And then we also made a state machine in Tinkercad, which is, we have pre-labs before the actual lab. It's a week before, kind of just get you, knowing what you're going to go over. So it's really nice being able to actually apply what I'm learning into physical hardware. And so more knowledge, quality of life plus. Thank you, Zaina, for showing me this org. It was the first college org I've ever been in, so I didn't really know what to expect. And I joined the AR glasses team. Now we're called the transcription lens team. And we're working for a disabled veteran named Michael. So what we're trying to do is enhance his ability to listen to others, enhance my ability, to listen to others. And I also learned how AR glasses function. So there's different things like bird bath optics. So there usually is a top screen or screen at the top of the glasses that reflects down on a prism and then displays what the screen is showing in front of you. So that was one of the things I learned and so much more. And then we also presented the progress of the AR glasses team in front of the MDI lab, or the Medical Designs Innovation Laboratory. So that was a lot of work. That was like my first time presenting in front of graduate students, and I believe a professor was also there. So it's really different from maybe something like this, or a high school presentation where it's just kind of your teacher and a couple students. So that really taught me how to, present in a professional manner. What should I talk about? How can I talk about what I did without going overboard and going over in detail? And then also the physical project. So taking the designs from ideas to reality. I'm learning how to use Onshape and CAD. I never thought I would need to use that. And so you can see on the right there, those are my glasses actually. And I learned how to design and print a prototype. And so you can see that kind of rectangle is where a transparent OLED is going to go into. An OLED is the type of screen. It's really bright, so it's going to work well when Michael's walking around in public. And kind of on the right, we're planning to have like little clips, and in the middle over there, so it stays sturdy on the glasses. So still work in progress. We probably need another few semesters going into it, but it's really exciting, and I've really loved the people I've met and how I've been able to grow as part of that. And so here's some of my leadership. First off, it's a Robotics and Automation Society. I became a junior officer after applying for the program around February. And so right now I'm leading a team of 4 to build a UTS-18 robotic arm. In the top right, you can see kind of like, I call it the gripper. So one of the current development trainers gave us some test code. And so you can see me on there stepping it, just trying to see how far it can go both ways. And then at the end of the video right there is closing point center. So it's going to be hopefully very smooth. We're still working on it. We had to tear it apart yesterday because one of the motors had broken. But this has been my first time leading a group project in college, and then also leading people that are older than me. So we have sophomores who know a lot, people have transferred in, and it's really nice being able to take all of their knowledge and apply it in a meaningful way to creative aspects of the project, to the actual physical function of it. And so myself, I've learned how to code and power positional servos, which is what's moving the actual gripper in the top right. And then also present my progress in front of other officers and in front of the other junior officers in my group, and apply the feedback I've gotten from them and even the president of the organization meaningfully. And so they're really helping to see this project to completion. Hopefully we do end up completing it. We don't have that much time left, but it's been really nice just being able to practice these skills and get them working. And so currently working on a new design we found too. The old one was too small, too complex. So we're hoping this one's more powerful, and we're going to use it to table for the recruitment coordinators and kind of get people interested in the organization, both from high school level to all the way to, college level. And so it's getting blocked by for the people in person, but I also was elected the treasurer for RAS, which is an executive position. RAS has 3 tiers. It's junior officer, officer, and then executive officer. So I was able to kind of skip a role and kind of take charge of, I'm going to be taking charge of how their finances work, and trying to get more funding by doing profit shares and that kind of deal with restaurants and franchises. And so here's some of the service I did. This was very early in the year, Town Twin. We volunteered to build a community garden. I used the pickaxe a lot for like a few hours. I might have thrown up in the restroom. And we kind of placed siding. You can see it on the bottom. I think you can see it. It's laying flat, I think. For the future work, I believe they're putting concrete into the ground so people can walk around and see the beautiful garden that they're going to work on. That was with Garden Tokyo as well. And then we also volunteered to set up a new home. So me and Owen really worked hard on that one. We set up a bed frame, a nightstand, a TV stand, and going like there was probably about 20, 25 people there just running around the little village and trying to find all the supplies they need for the home and making sure these people have the resources they need to be comfortable in their new life. And then this is also something new I'm doing. It's with the San Antonio Feral Cat Coalition. And I'm a cubby cleaner for the Del Salvador Petco location. And so on the right there, you can see Lola. She's, I believe, a 3-year-old female cat. Super sweet, super adorable. And not pictured as Mooey, who is a 6-year-old cat. And I'm I'm cleaning the cubbies of to-be-adopted cats. So I kind of get the key from the drawer and then open the little locks and pet them. Of course, that's the first thing. They're animals too. And I remember at the end of the shift, I came home with I was wearing a black polo and it basically turned white with how much fur was on me. And so it really helped me kind of get out of school, even outside of TSSO volunteers, and just kind of something I wanted to do for a long time. It was part of my SMART goals as well. So I was I deal with a lot of stress. I always try to do something. I was trying to make progress in something, and this was kind of just hey, you can take time to relax and do something good while you're at it. So I'm hoping to keep doing more of this. I have another. I'm volunteering again on Tuesday, and hopefully these cats get adopted. But if they're not, then it's going to be really good to see them and make sure they're doing well. And so kind of beyond the program, something I love doing, I've been getting more into it, is building and customizing Gundams. They're little model kits, and they're after an anime. I've never watched it, but it looks really cool. And I built my first diorama, which is kind of like a scene. And so you can see it there in the top right. I spent a good amount of time on it, just kind of researching what it's going to be, how to build it, how do I make something sturdy, how do I make something that's also light, because you can build something sturdy, but it's going to be really heavy, and if you drop it, everything's just going to splatter all over the place because physics and all that kind of stuff. And so that's a master grade Gundam, so it's a 1/100 scale out of you know, how tall the actual figure is. And then you can see the little pilot at the bottom, kind of just looking up. And that was something I like, you know, I was very proud of myself after it, because it was something I didn't think I could accomplish. But you know, just being able to find all these different ideas and combine them into something I was of my own and something I was proud of, you know, just really made me feel accomplished. And so then I'm also learning how to hand and spray paint different kind of Gundams. I've worked on a whole hand painted one this semester, and so that took me about like a month just to go through, because you have to wait for the paint to cure, the primer to cure, and top coat to cure, and making sure I also had to like you know, create the idea of what I wanted it to look like. So that's kind of just more stuff going outside of academics, and seeing how I can take a project from like, you know, completely my own idea with inspirations and seeing it to completion, which is kind of, I've been doing that a lot this semester, and that's kind of you know, my main goal. And I'm also looking into airbrushing. That's also pretty expensive. You know, it's a few $100 and all that kind of stuff. And you also need a proper ventilation too. So in Guad, you can't really get that. You know, you're right next to somebody, the windows don't open. But hopefully for Laurel, I think the windows do open over there. And I can, you know, create a little, you know, spray painting area where I can, you know, further customize and further take my skills to the next level out of something that's academic, outside of academics. And then I also mentored a student to a full ride. He hit me up on Instagram, I think in October-ish. And he was like, hey, Artie, you know, like, I really like what you're doing. I know you got the scholarship. I was hoping you can, you know, help me try to get it myself, because it's a full ride like a bachelor's full ride and also a medical full ride. So over the past few, from like October to December, I think we held about 4 or 5 practice interview sessions. And he told me recently that he did end up getting the scholarship, and it really, you know, just like, it was like, wow, like I can take this someone, you know, I was sure he can get it beforehand, before you even did any interview practice, but, you know, just making him feel confident in himself, and actually him being able to secure that full ride. I think he also applied for Terry and got an interview. I don't know how that one went, but I'm really proud of him, and I'm really proud of myself too, because I do have a busy schedule as well, and being able to find the time and mentor a student to a life-changing opportunity like this, it really, you know, brought a different perspective. And then I also forged a knife too. That was really fun. I did that in the first semester. I went with Zayna and Patrick. That like it had a bunch of people staring at us, which is kind of weird. But I guess it does look kind of funny when you have 3 nerds trying to hammer a knife, you know, hammer a railroad spike into a knife and do all the twisting and stuff. And then also, that was also my first time having Chipotle too, which was really good. Just being able to kind of connect with the older scholars and just having a good time. Them just, you know, just being there for me and wanting it. Like it's a lot different, and I just really appreciate her and Patrick being there for me. So, and so you just kind of see your pictures. I have a lot of pictures from this year. In the top left, we have Best Fest. I've probably worked for like 8 hours that day. We ended up selling out all the boba, which was really nice. We donated to the SISD Foundation, I believe, the Book Buddies program. So I was working on just like making sure there's the proper amount of syrup in the cup, and making sure all the customers had a, you know, good experience. Some of them didn't have the best, because the first time I think I put a little too much. But you know, I'm just doing my best. And then in the middle, there's a Hello Kitty rave. That was really fun to go to. I was just kind of exploring more what San Antonio has to go to. I love concerts and music performances and all that kind of stuff. And Hello Kitty was like 3 hours late, and also looked a little skinny. So maybe there was like Ozempic was really trendy at the time. So I don't know if she was on that. Then at the top right, you can see me, Dominique. She's a Terry Scholar, and Oscar, he's in the Honors College. We were making ice cream, like handmade ice cream, and that was with the honeycomb connection. Mine turned out really salty, and I got that shirt of mine. I like in my stomach area turned like all white. I don't know how that happened, but I'm guessing it's because of the salt. On the bottom left, you can see Chapcat. He was luckily here for my first semester, and he was really adorable. But unfortunately, we believe he passed away over winter break. And then in the middle picture, there's a hike I went on with a couple scholars, and that was at Frederick Park, I believe. And so it was just nice being able to kind of connect with, you know, the seniors and some of the other people throughout UTSA and kind of what they've done throughout their year. Because that was like, I believe, my first week here, so didn't know too much, and it was really exciting just to meet new people as well. In the bottom right, it's the freshman cohort. We went to, I believe, Lick, and I believe it's down at the rim. And we were just having like a little tea session, just talking about everything that's been going on since the summer retreat and what our plans are for the future. Because I believe it was, I don't remember, it was very early on into the year as well. So it was really nice just connecting with the freshman cohort like that. Some more pictures as well. Here's the top left. There's a concert I went to in October. Really just fun. I love, just being able to kind of release all the energy I have from school and like, you're sitting down for so many hours straight, you need something to kind of let loose. In the middle, there's the Friendsgiving Day with the top scholars. It was really nice just being able to, they put on a turkey cutting video because none of us knew how to cut a turkey. So it was just more bonding and more just like learning more about everyone else and what they're doing. At the top right, there's just a picture I took from the Kaler Forge trip with Patrick and Dana. In the same area, we named our knives. Basically, the first thing you cut with the knife, the first thing you say after you cut, make the first cut with the knife is what the knife's name is. And so Patrick's knife ended up being that. Mine ended up being okay, and then Zainab locked in. I guess hers was Oathbringer. So we have a photo circle called "That's Okay, Oathbringer." It was really funny because we're all planning to have these cool names or whatever. And, yeah. The bottom left is the freshman cohort planning for our service project. We ended up doing a toy drive for, I don't remember exactly what organization it was for, but a toy drive ended up being really successful. And it was just nice to kind of see the freshman cohort actually working together and like that kind of not in a service oriented way and not academic related or just go and have fun. And we do really work really well together. There's a bunch of ideas being bounced around, and I'm really excited for our senior legacy project. That's still something we're already working on. And I believe it's going to be really successful. I'm excited for it. In the middle, there's a pumpkin I carved. I came really late because we had class or something. There was a trend going on at the time making like a silly pumpkin. You take out the mouth, make little eyes, and mine has a tongue for some reason. In the right, we played board games with Patrick. It was me, Owen, Ishwar, playing, I believe it's like Road or Tickets to Ride or something like that. And I forgot who won. I think Ishwar won. And so basically you get little cards and it has like a location and you need a certain amount of trains to, or you get a certain amount of points for making that connection. So then you go into the board for a little bit. And you can block people, and that was really fun just to mess around with them. Here's some more pictures. Here's me during winter break making cookies with my grandma. I absolutely love them. I eat like probably like 30 every year. My stomach hates me for it, but no, I should. For the second picture in the top is a coconut. So it took like 30 guys trying to open that up. And it still tasted bad to me. So I don't know why we did that. It was just randomly during I believe December. And then we have me in the third picture is me in the escape room. It was my first escape room I did it with Becky. We needed a lot of hints to get past it because some of the stuff was not clearly laid out. And it was like in AI, I was trying to take over a facility and it was going to take over the world or something like that. So it was really fun just messing around. It was kind of like computer oriented, so I really loved it. In the top right picture, or the last picture, is me being Ishwar. We went to an arcade with some of the Terrys and some of the people in honors college and all that kind of stuff. And for some reason, one of the scholars took us to like he thought it was an Irish restaurant, but ended up being a pub. So you have like tents, 19-year-olds walking into a pub with like anyone. It was like everyone was above 40 years old. There were slot machines, and so we just walked immediately right out. It's one of the highlights of that day. The bottom left is me ice skating for the first time. I think I almost fell. I think I did fall, but luckily no one has it on video. And so I was just kind of skate around. There's some girl in them. You can see her like she kind of her legs are like kind of pointed out. She's like jumping and like going all crazy. So I would maybe hopefully one day I'll be there. I don't know though. And there's some nice old people just kind of giving tips and like somehow backwards skating while teaching me how to properly skate. I don't know how they do it. The second picture on the bottom is me making hamburgers with Becky, and she's gotten really good at them. She's taught me how to be really good at them. They're incredibly juicy now, and like I look forward to it every time we make it. Third picture on the bottom is me making one of the Gundams. It's from a show I really like. So I top coated it. It was my first time applying like stickers to it, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. And in the bottom right, you can see kind of the first design for the AR glasses. It was like just a little case for the screen. So I was just kind of me learning on shape and all that kind of stuff. I think it's the final slide of pictures and a lot of it. The top right is a picture of me in my grandpa's truck. What happened was I floored it to avoid an accident. And then of course the check engine light came on. So I was trying to figure out what was wrong. I figured out what was wrong. Had to take basically the intake manifold off, replace the spark plugs. And that was like a multi-day project. Ended up finishing it. It worked for like probably like 30 seconds, and then the check engine light came on again. So then I had to go to the dealership with that check engine light still running on. And as soon as I got to the dealership, the truck started smoking. So that ended up being about like a $700 repair. Luckily, my grandpa split it with me, but it turned out to be my fix was almost right. I basically just didn't plug the wire in all the way, but I guess I got lucky that I was at the dealership at that time. The middle picture is a picture of like an in progress picture of the diorama I made. Just kind of seeing what it looks like from different angles and what my final vision would turn into. The top right is a picture from Logic Design. That's a segmented display. So that's kind of we had to make it out of these called NAND gates. Basically, I think of a light switch. Different gates do different things, and so if you turn different light switches on, different things will turn on. The bottom left is a picture for me from selection. That's of Owen and Ashley. I ended up running, making sure like where everyone was going to be for the end of the first day and then the whole second day. It was our first selection in a long time where no one got lost. So I was really proud of myself for that, and it was really nice and rewarding, just kind of taking charge in that way and just making sure everyone was getting to where they need to, all the candidates and both scholars, because I had to manage both of that. And in the middle picture is me at Newcomb Ranch. Newcomb Ranch, I have some thoughts about, but it was very, very fun just jumping off I don't even know how tall that pole was, probably like 50 feet. There's a little like trapeze bar that I grabbed onto, but I guess I fell off. I don't know how. David has a really bad video of me on that one. And in the bottom right, that's a picture of like a bunch of scholars going to play paintball. It was really fun. It was during the nighttime. It was really, really cold. That's why everyone's wearing hoodies. My mask kept fogging up, so I couldn't see anyone. I didn't know if I was hitting anyone. I just saw like paintballs flying out. But it was fun just like running around, and I had to protect, like we did a game called Protect the President, and so Eric ended up being elected president. And so you have probably about it was like 5 people defending him. And so you have everyone else in that photo just running at you, trying to, shoot him with a paintball, and just super, super fun memories of that. And so what's next for me heading into the summer, into the next year? I was lucky to get into the Semiconductor and Electronic Materials and Devices RU at Alabama this summer. I was one of 9 students from selected nationally to research, that topic. And I was paired with Professor Mark Chang to be a one-on-one pairing where I'm going to be monitoring forever chemicals using wide bandgap semiconductor devices. What that means, I'm not necessarily sure yet, but hopefully I'll have good news by the time I come back around for the fall semester and for my next interview presentation. I also have some new officer positions for 2025-2026. So like I said before, Raz and the executive treasurer, executive officer treasury. And then also for top scholar student organization, I'm the director of events. So I'm kind of taking over Anna. And I'm excited to, bring the freshman cohort together and connect them with the upperclassmen. And then also I submitted my request for an 8-week internship in Tokyo. They have computer engineering internships there. So I'm really hoping that gets approved and that I can find a way to fund it and make sure I've always wanted to go to Asia to learn how to use technology and that kind of stuff. And it's a really exciting opportunity that I hope I can do. And that's about it. Do you have any questions? And I would appreciate you guys.
It's been so interesting hearing all the things that you've been involved with. And it wasn't until one of the final slides that it brought back to mind the fact that you were working with the scheduling committee and with specifically ensuring that everyone was where they needed to be. More so I saw during the second day, but the first as well. And it was really integral, and that was a really integral component of what made it such a successful weekend. But everything else that you've highlighted as well seems super interesting, just in general, but B, super valuable, especially to you and your story and what you want to get out of it. So this was great to hear, and congratulations on a successful year.
Thank you, Mr. Rodeo. Is it?
Okay, okay, so I want to like mention something that I think we all know about you, which is from the moment that we met you at your selection. I think everyone who met you felt very sure that you were going to invest in all of the communities that you started belonging to. And I think this information like validates that you did that 110%. Your involvement in Top Scholar, just because of who you are, the kindness that you've shown others, the friendships that you made, the relationships you put effort into, and then also the roles you've taken on as a freshman in Best Fest, in scheduling committee. That was crazy. That, I mean, we always joke that like if we have any kind of hazing, it's scheduling committee. And so I think like I want to mention that we're all super proud of you for that, and that you're, you know, every year I think there's a couple scholars who just go above and beyond to make like the community better. The community of Top Scholar and the community that we participate in. And so I really want to commend you for that, because I think that in your cohort you are absolutely the best example of that. And you should celebrate that. And I'm just so excited for you to step into honest shoes as events director. I can't think of anyone better for the role. And I also want to say that I've seen your growth in QL Plus. That is not an easy organization to be a part of. It is really demanding. You were in your first semester in this position where you had a deliverable to a disabled veteran who was waiting for progress on a project. And you really committed to that. You did not ever like you learned skills like way beyond your level. And you were frequently in situations where you were the only one in your team that was presenting. And you presented to graduate students, you presented to veterans, you presented to all of these people. And so I also want to commend you for that effort. And just say that, you know, that is a huge deal. I mean, you locked in your RU in the fall semester, like you are making incredible progress. You are challenging yourself. You are seeing it through. And so I just want to say we're really proud of you. It is really an honor to have you in our community. I think we're also excited to watch you become a mentor next year, and we've already kind of started that journey. And so congratulations, like please celebrate everything you've accomplished. And just know that it's just an honor to call you a friend.
Thank you, Dan. It's really an honor being with you. Thank you for taking me under your wing throughout this entire year.
Basically to say the same thing that Zaina said, I remember so vividly. Yeah, at your selection, you were the only candidate that didn't bring a guest with you. And I remember going up and talking to you, and I honestly can't even put my finger on it. And you were just so well put together. And I remember telling everyone, go talk to Artie, go talk to Artie. You should go talk to this candidate, Artie. And yeah, we all knew from the very beginning that you were going to get in. And then when you did, no surprise to anyone. I remember we called over the summer and we talked for like 2 hours about like, tell me all your questions, like tell me any concerns that you have about, you know, going through this transition between high school and college. And you just seemed so curious about so many things. You wanted to learn everything. You wanted to jump into everything from the very beginning. And it reminded me so much of the mentality that I had freshman year. And yeah, you were well on your way to becoming, if not already being, a pillar of this community. I was a bit nervous knowing that next semester I wasn't going to be here, but I was still going to have to be in charge of the TSSO. And finding out that you're going to be on the board brought me so much peace. You have no idea. You are such a responsible and well put together person. And time and time again, you demonstrate that you have what it takes to quite literally take anything and just step it up a level and complete it and do it well and do it correctly and do it with genuine intentions. And I'm so proud of everything that you've done in your first year. And I know that it's just gonna be more and more and more and more. And even if you start doing less, it's gonna be in bigger caliber and it's gonna be with bigger value. And you're gonna just narrow in on what you're meant to be doing in your life. And it's okay if it's not the same thing every single year. And it's okay if after you graduate college, you go on to a different field or you hone in on something that you didn't see coming before, but you are going to kill it, whatever you do. Yeah, we're all so proud of you.
Thank you, Mama.
I'll go next. So, I was really happy when you got selected because I thought you were one of my top candidates. And happy to have another ECE person in the program, and the person I had just left It was good to finally hear that. One thing you said in the presentation that I was like really happy you said was your classes were teaching you how to think as an engineer, and you definitely like learned that inevitably when you're taking an internship or when you are new. But learning that now is definitely to your advantage. You can definitely put that to use when you start interviewing and doing all that sort of stuff. I really like that you're getting involved with the IEEE sister societies. Even part of that, I started my freshman year also, and I know RAS is, I think is on track to becoming one of the biggest tech orgs on campus. I know ACM is the biggest one at the moment, but RAS is slowly but surely going stronger, getting better, and you having an executive position is incredible. And as far as like big IEEE treasurer, it's awesome to see you doing that. And then you also talked about your log design classes, which I want to point out is a specific professor that I want to say I told him about, and now that I've talked to previously, I'm pretty excited for the rest of his courses. I've taken all of his courses, which is documented. So I'm pretty sure you're really gonna like those. Another thing was that I really like that you're exploring your hobbies, especially now that you have this much freedom. And I hope that your engineering courses don't take that away from you. I know for me, that kind of happened to me, and I'm kind of getting back into it, but hopefully next year that doesn't happen to you. And I hope that your REU further develops your very specialized interest, because when you talk to me at your selection and during this year, I don't know if you guys talked about what you're really interested in, but like the stuff he's like talking about is stuff you kind of focus generally on like your junior and senior years. So kind of narrowing that down and finding an RAU that pertains to that will help you further develop that interest. And I really hope that is something that it comes out to be like a secured interest, because there's so many things you can do with your degree. And I'm really proud of you, and I'm excited to see what you do next year.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate all the, mentorship you've given.
We had one comment in the chat from Ishwar. Artie, you are so awesome. Keep it up. Can't wait for next year.
Thank you, Ishwar. I can't wait to be your roommate. We're gonna make some fun stuff now.
Cool. All right. Thank you, Artie.